super excited to talk to you about this training that we're going to be doing. It's about calibrating yourself, your frequency, your energy, and who you be to 100K months. So I'm going to jump right in because I just want to get in and out with this. So I want you to think about this. What if 30K clients, having people who pay you $25,000, $20,000, $15,000, even paying you in full, and 100K months were the most normal thing ever for you? What if that was just your reality? And the truth is, inside of my community, for a lot of my clients, it's just what we do. It's not something we stress about. It's not something we're ascribing to or striving to get at. And I'm not saying that from a place of like, here I am sitting up here on this super high damn horse trying to tell you how to run your life and your business. But I do want to tell you this. It's from a space of knowing. I still remember it like it was yesterday. As a matter of fact, a couple of weeks ago, I was driving in the car. I think it was last month after my masterclass, because I made an offer and I gave a fast action bonus. And literally before I could even get the words out of my mouth, all of the fast action bonuses were gone. And we had, 10 to 12 people who had already registered while I was still in the middle of making the offer. And I was telling him what happened. And I was literally like, tears were coming out of my eyes, because I remember the time in my life and in my business where I would make offers to crickets, right? I would make offers and no one would buy. And I know how it feels to have a group program that you launch or put out there, and you're starting it with 1 people or 3 people or 4 people. Been there, done that. Got the t-shirt. And while I'm on the other side of that, it's still very real for me. It's why I'm so grateful for the community that I've built. And I'm often moved to tears, because I remember when I was dreaming of making millions in my business, but I couldn't figure out how to go from the dreaming of it, the longing of it, the desire to do it, into making it my reality. And I know for a lot of you, that's a familiar space that you're in right now. Maybe you're at 6 figures and you're like, okay, I'm just figuring out how to do 6 figures. I can't even imagine, Shamika, how to do 6 figures in a month. And I want to tell you that it's okay to be in that space. But today I want to offer you just a window of opportunity and open up this window so that you can see the possibility in front of you, and give you some of my most prized tools that we use in order to rapidly accelerate this possibility for the people who work with me, and for myself as well. I'm always rapidly growing. And so I want to share this with you because it took me years to get to where I am today. It took me years to go from dreaming of having a $1 million, multi-million-dollar business to actually having it. I couldn't figure out how to do that. What I know is that the promises of God for my life were that I should be in abundance and not in lack. And so I just kind of stood on those promises while putting one step in front of the other. And yeah, there were bumps and bruises along the way, but I also knew that deep inside I was meant for more. And so there are some things that I had to do to start to make those decisions that allowed me to move into that more that was available for me. I always talk about how long it took me, because I want you to understand that it took me 12 years to get to this point. But what I realize as I work with the clients that I work with year in and year out is that it took me that long so it doesn't have to take them that long. I am mentoring and helping them step and do things in their life and their business that rapidly accelerate their ability to create results. And I get to witness that transformation. And it's such a beautiful thing. So today, I want to invite you to grab your favorite drink and grab a notebook for yourself, so that as the wisdom hits you, you can just kind of jot down what hits you. Because I want to break down 2 crucial elements that I use that help me to prepare myself, to make room for this expansion, to position myself, my brand, my business, who I be, my bank account, to receive the money that was coming in, and to propel my business into the millions that I now get to manage and leverage today to make an impact in the world. And so the thing I want to share about that, though, is this. I can talk about how I make money all day. The beautiful thing for me is that I'm not just doing it for myself. I'm teaching other people how to do it too, literally shifting their wealth code they are not going to be the same. I'm taking people who only made maximum $30,000 in a year, not just in their business, but in any job that they have. And now they're doing $30,000 a month. Just things like that just floor me. And it's because of the principles that I'm going to share with you today about calibrating yourself to 100K months. And yeah, there's a lot more principles than this. This isn't it. You're not going to take this and go off and do everything. But I think these are often overlooked principles that people don't talk about. And what happens is it has you running around chasing strategies, chasing classes that people are teaching, courses that you're purchasing, and you're out here just like doing all the things and wondering why it's not happening for you. And it's because we've gone amiss on these things. We haven't paid attention to these things that really, really matter to help you to calibrate to that level that you want to be at. And so what happens is, even though you're doing the strategies that could work for someone to create a six-figure month or a multi-million dollar business, you're still creating a six-figure or below business or a multiple six-figure business, and you can't figure out why you can't get over that level. And so here are the two things that I want to share with you today. The first one, we're going to go a little bit deep on because I think it's super important. And the first one, I want to name it this, but it's a little deeper than this. And this may seem a little woo, but just stick with me because I'm going to explain it. The first one is frequency. Okay. Everything, all matter is made up of vibrations. And so different things, the way that this plastic bottle knows to stay together, the way that my phone understands that it's supposed to look like this is because all the elements are vibrating together to create the solid object, to create the matter, to create our body, same thing. Everything is vibrating at a certain frequency that says, hey, we're supposed to be together to create this item. And so frequency is super important when it comes to creating the results that you want in your business, but most people overlook it. So what I'm talking about here is your frequency. Who you be emits a frequency. Who you are emits a frequency. Your beliefs dictate a lot that goes on. It rules. Actually, somebody wrote this today. I'm trying to remember who it was. Your subconscious beliefs overrules everything in your conscious action. And basically, whatever that frequency is that you're operating at, whether it's high or low or mid-level, you cannot outwork that. You cannot out-strategize it. It will always win. And it is why I can give the same strategy to two different people. One person will go do a six-figure month and the other person won't even make a sale, because frequency will always win. And your frequency start with your beliefs. So that's where I want to start. This is not a mindset thing. This is a reality that I want you to be aware of so that you can start to calibrate in a different way. I'm not where I am because of the sales techniques that I've learned or the different strategies that I've learned, copywriting, all of those things. Don't get me wrong. Those things are important. But I am where I am today. Actually, when I say I am where I am, I'm about to sing a worship song. But I am where I am today because I have a way of being that causes me to behave in a certain way. And one of those ways of being is like, it's already done. It's rooted in faith. When I move, I've already said, this is what I'm creating. And I move with this belief that nothing can stop me. Here's what I want you to think about. I can guarantee you, and I want you to search yourself, that somewhere deep inside of you, there is at least one belief that is causing you to be less than who you are meant to be. That is causing you to experience life on a different level that's not the level you were meant for. There's at least one, and I want you to search yourself because the answer is not outside of you, it's inside of you. That belief drives your behavior. That belief drives your thoughts and your actions. And because of those beliefs, those things create your results. So I want to just break this down for you so that you can get an understanding about this, because I want you to get this understanding and then look at how it shows up. And I'll give you some examples. So something in your life happens and you decide a thing, right? You make a decision or you assign meaning to the thing that happens in your life. And because you assign meaning to that thing that happens in your life, you adopt a belief regarding it. Okay. Here is an example. You put out your social media post, someone shows up and they book a sales call with you, and they get on the call and they say they can't afford it. You then decide that people can't afford your offer, that people don't have money to pay $30,000 to work with you, or $15,000 or $10,000 because of that experience. And heaven forbid that it happens multiple times. But for most people, it only has to happen once before they decide. Okay. So you decide based on that experience that people can't afford that. So then what happens is that becomes your belief. Your belief is that people can't afford to pay $10,000 in full. I remember when the max threshold that I could do on a payment plan in my mind was like $500, $300 to $500. 500 was pushing it, because in the belief that I had is $500 is more than most people's car payments. Why would they pay that? That was the belief. And I made a decision about it, right? I made a decision about that situation, and then that became my belief. So what happens? It drives my thoughts and my actions. So then I'm like, well, I'm not going to put my prices up above $500. So same thing for you. Someone says they can't afford it. So then you start going, okay, so what do I need to do to create a program that's more affordable for people? And then you start putting packages and programs together that are where you believe, quote unquote, because affordability is relative, more affordable. So do you see my line here? And you can follow this in your own life. You decide a thing based on an experience. It becomes your belief. That belief then drives your actions, right? And then those actions are actually what creates your results. So we think we're out here doing action that's going to create the results that we want, but it depends. It depends on the frequency, right? The belief that those actions are rooted in. I'm setting somebody free right now. I know it. Okay. So you actually can start to calibrate to 100K months by deciding that it's actually possible for you, and that you could find 3 people that would pay you $30,000 to get you $90,000, right? You could find 10 people that would pay you $10,000 that would get you $100,000. That you could double your offer from $2,500 to $5,000 and people would actually pay you. That you could, whatever that belief is that you have to have it inform a different decision. Now, it's difficult when circumstances around you feed the old belief. So it's difficult to shift if everybody you're surrounded with is telling you, yeah, people don't have money right now. Yeah, you should only have a $97 offer. No one's going to pay you that much. I don't know anybody that would pay that much for coaching, whatever that much is, right? So that's why when it comes to frequency, which helps dictate these beliefs that you have, it matters too. There's 2 things that I want you to look at. It's not just your beliefs, right? So there's your frequency, but then there's other things that allow you to recalibrate. The first one is your environment. So things that are around you in your environment. You can't decide that you're going to be someone who charges $30,000 a month, yet you're skimping and buying the cheapest butter. Right? Because life is a reflection back, right? What are the things? I have a friend, her name is LaShawn Holland, and she says wealth has a smell, it has a scent, it has a feel, it has a touch, right? So if everything you see and feel and touch and smell doesn't smell wealthy to you, doesn't look wealthy to you, how do you create that in your environment? And so what you want to begin to do is to look at little areas that you can begin to calibrate to the frequency that you desire to be in. I have, here it is. So a couple of months ago, I bought, because I was trying to find a new scent that I didn't use, because I'm used to using Bath and Body Works. I don't usually normally wear perfume. So I bought this Killian pack, and I found an amazing scent that I love. And I was like, this is what she was talking about. Wealth does have a scent. And so, you can do something simple as, this is a new one that I just found. It's Killian. It's called Bamboo Harmony. I'm going to spray this on myself right now. Love the way this smells. How can you upgrade your surroundings to elevate the way you think about yourself and how you feel about yourself so that you allow yourself to receive luxury in small areas and then translate that over into the larger areas. So that's one thing. So environment. So look at little things. I always tell my clients, look, get rid of all your stretched out bras and holy draws and all of that stuff. And I know that sounds a little intimate and crazy, but it's a signal to yourself that you're ready to receive on a higher level. It changes your frequency. Okay. The second frequency that I want you to look at is it's environmental too, but it's people frequency, right? People frequency. It's funny because there's something going on in the coaching and consulting world over the last couple of days. I've been seeing people rant and rave about it. And it's kind of interesting to me because what you give your time and attention to will grow. And so everything we do has its own frequency, right? Love has a frequency. Laughter and joy has a frequency. Complaining and ranting has a frequency. Now, there is a way to rant in your business as an order to share with people that's actually on a higher frequency than just I'm just going to grumble and complain about somebody else kind of frequency. And I see all these people attaching on to this thing. And I'm thinking to myself, you do not realize how much that is impacting you from the inside out, impacting your ability to connect to things on a higher level that you desire to have. Because guess what? There's low frequency, there's high frequency, right? Complaining, grumbling, ranting, all of those things are low frequency activity, not high frequency. So are you surrounded by people who do those things? More often than not, they complain about everything that they're in. There are people. So let me say this. I heard this from one of my coaches before. There are people to whom there is a solution for every problem. And then there are people to whom there is a problem for every solution. And if you find yourself being the latter, that means you're operating on a low frequency plane. If every time you get ready to step out and do something in your business, your focus is on what could possibly go wrong, you're operating in low frequency. So how do you change that? How does this matter when it comes to people? Who are you surrounding yourself with? Are you surrounded by people who have what you desire to have? Are you surrounded by people who operate in the frequency of love and acceptance and joy and laughter? Or are you around and surrounded by people who can't win for losing? They're always on team no sleep. Like everything is in this low frequency. So community really, really matters. That is one of the ways to rapidly accelerate and calibrate to six-figure months is being around people who are in a higher frequency than you are right now, and being around people who are actually creating that so that you can calibrate to them. So the more you're surrounded by people who are doing something higher than you, look at your communities. Is everybody struggling to get clients in your communities? Get the heck out. That's how you calibrate to 100K months. You're not going to calibrate to 100K months from a low frequency. You can dream about it, you can desire it, and you can wish, but it will always be elusive because you're not moving on this frequency plane higher and higher and closer to it. You're either stagnant where you are or you're moving further and further away. So you want to look at my communities, my people, and we can't pick and choose our family, right? But you can pick and choose your friends. You can pick and choose the communities you invest into. You can pick and choose your business colleagues and friends. Pay attention. Here's the thing about frequency. Remember, matter comes together based on that frequency. So if there is a frequency that's up here, let's call this up here 100K months, and everything that you do in your life is on a frequency that's lower than that, different frequencies can't remain in the same space. So when you do step into a space that's a higher frequency, you're either going to have to calibrate higher or something's going to happen that's going to cause you to be removed out of that space. This is why people say the term it's lonely at the top. This is why people feel like when they start growing, they start losing friends and even family members. It's this thing that's happening. What's going to happen when those moments come? You're either going to calibrate back down to where you were so that you can keep the same old that you had, or you are going to increase in frequency so you can calibrate to where you want to go. The thing you want to be, though, is so powerful that when other people come in your sphere, they calibrate to where you are instead of you bringing them down. And I know this is like crazy, like, oh my gosh, I never thought about it in that way. But I just gave you a weapon and a tool in your arsenal to think about who you be in your day-to-day life. Because again, I'm telling you right now, if it was just strategy that was going to get me to where I am today, I would have been here a long time ago, because I have invested out of the wazoo from the beginning of my business. You cannot outwork me. I am a determined, driven, hardworking person. I will outwork anyone on any day doing anything. I can do hard things. That wasn't it. It was this. Now, alongside of my personality of getting things done and taking action, this frequency, paying attention to who I be. This is so important to me that I spend 2 hours every day making sure my frequency is on point. Okay, up to 2 hours. I've been doing this for so long, and I'm going to give you a little look into my my daily routine that I do. But I've been doing this for so long that I no longer have to take that long. But in the beginning, it was a long deal. And here's the thing. I don't start my day until I put on my whole self. So I give myself a 2-hour window where I do all the things that helps me elevate my frequency, where I feel powerful, where the mind-numbing, self-doubt, shame thoughts that come up, low worth thoughts that normally come up for me dissipate. And all I feel is powerful. So there's a couple of things that I do. I have an in-shower Bluetooth speaker that I use, where I do a daily dance in my shower to the music of my choice, just uplifting my vibration. Music is one of the fastest ways to transport yourself into a space or time. You want to be sad? Put on some sad music. You want to be excited and happy? Put on some excited and happy music, and just allow yourself to go with it. So I do that. I don't necessarily journal, but I have subliminal, binaural affirmations that I listen to every day. And I only focus on the ones that are my go-to. So my go-to things that can take me out of the game are self-worth issues and money blocks. Because I grew up in poverty. I grew up, I lived in the projects when I was younger. So there's a lot of those just normal patterns of behavior that are rooted in lack that can have a tendency to show up. Like, even having a lot of money right now, I often will find myself in a behavior pattern of someone who doesn't have enough. And I'm like, where is that coming from? So it's kind of crazy. And so I do this every day in order to rewrite those thoughts that are coming. And the binaurals, I may put the link to my YouTube so that you guys can have it, because I just listen on YouTube. The binaurals that I listen to, they come at all directions. There's 6 voices that are going at one time, because your conscious brain will try to default to the old pattern of behavior. So I will use those in the background as I'm working and as I start my day. I also do anything I need to fuel my body. So I check in with myself. I'm very aware of my own needs. Oftentimes we're not, especially women and mothers. We're so used to defaulting to supporting other people. We go if we don't have enough sleep. We go if we don't feel like it. And so I stop and I go, okay, what do you need? Do you need water? Do you need food? What do you need for fuel? Do you need to read your Bible? What are the things that you need? And so these are the types of things that I do just to recalibrate myself so that I start my day off on a higher frequency than a lower frequency, so that I can create from that space. That's it. I really just wanted to share that. There's one more thing. So frequency, I told you I was going to spend a lot of time on frequency. There's one more thing that I want to share with you, and that is focus. So I focus on frequency. Here's what I want you to understand about focus. Most people think they're focused, but they're not. I used to be driven. I used to do a lot of hard work, and the things I did in my business were ego driven. Like, yeah, I'm going to do $1 million, all of those things. I was really part of Team No Sleep too. Like, you're going to grind till you have it. If you don't have it, you work on at nighttime. If you don't have it, you work on Saturday and Sunday, all of those things. And I had to let that go, because that pattern of pushing and pulling and driving only creates more angst because of the frequency that it's in. But here's what I mean about focus. So frequency is the first one. Focus is the next way to recalibrate. You don't need to post in a dozen Facebook groups in order to get results. You don't need to do a 365-day live stream challenge in order to create 100K month. You don't need to post in 10 different places every single day on every social media platform in order to create results. There is a strategy and an energetic frequency to showing up powerfully and selling on social media. Doing it in a way that grows your community, not just grows your community where you have all the followers. See, that's the thing where you guys get it wrong. Ego says, I want 500 people watching me live. Ego says, I want everybody commenting on my post. Oh, they didn't like it. Ego says all of that stuff. Focus and purpose says, I want the right people watching my live stream. I want people who are willing and ready to invest. So we want to grow our community full of people who are ready to buy, not tons of people, just purposeful people. Purposeful people, intentionality. Like I say, it's not a fluke, it's a formula. And focused intention will exponentially compound anything you do. It's why we're hitting 100K months consistently without a huge following, without massive Facebook groups, without gigantic ad spends. When you show up in this way, and you can only do this when your frequency is high, right? When you show up powerfully in this way, sales will simply flow. Sales will simply flow. Here's what I was clear about when I got serious about growing my business to millions, not just desiring it, but got serious about it because I understood the impact that I desired to have and was meant to have. I was clear that I wasn't interested in hustling and grinding my way to millions. I actually had a little interaction with someone on one of my posts who I was sharing, like, do you guys want the blueprint that we've used to create 100K months? She's like, I only want it if you tell me what your profit is. And I'm like, okay, that's interesting. But it told me more about her than it told me about myself or anything that I was saying. And what it told me is that you guys are used to seeing a lot of people who are doing well in their business or what you would consider well. Maybe they have a multi-million-dollar business, but you're watching them burn out. You're watching them not have enough money in their own pockets because they have a huge team or whatever. And you're thinking, I want that, but I don't want that. And that used to be me. I actually got on a sales call with one of my former coaches about 4 years ago. And I told her I only want to make $500,000 a year because in my mind, I had decided, remember those beliefs and those decisions? So I had a belief that was based on an experience of seeing all these other people burn out, that in order for you to make more than $500,000, you needed a huge team. And I didn't want to manage those people. And I wanted to keep most of my money. And she helped me shift that belief. That belief was keeping me from having the impact that I currently have right now and the impact that I'm moving into, because there are people who are waiting on me, just like there are people who are waiting on you to stand up and show yourself because they're your divine assignment. Some of you would never be here if I was still in that belief system. And so what I recognize, and I sound like a broken record. That was funny. That was like, Ricky. Oh, that was funny. What I recognize is that I can decide how I want to create this thing. And so I create my business with ease. I create my business with flow. I teach my clients how to do the same, not in my way, in their way. What do they want? How many vacations do you want to take? How do you want to walk with clients? Because there is no one way to do this thing, but there is your way. And when you find your way, you can turn up the heat on that. And it's beautiful and it's masterful and it's incredible. Right? So I decided a long time ago, that's not how I want to do it. Because here is the truth. What I know is that I had to scale my business in a way that honors who I am, my purposeful mission, and how I desire to create massive impact. And the same is true for you. What I want you to hear is this, because this is what shifted it for me. The same effort you use to create six figures can create 6-figure months. I'm going to say that again. The same effort, especially for those of you guys who work super, super hard, that you use to create 6 figures can create 6-figure months, because the same energy you use to close a $5,000 sale is the same energy that it takes to close a $25,000 sale. The question I have for you is this, as we wrap up: what frequency is your belief tuned into? What frequency is your belief tuned into? Low frequency, high frequency, 6-figure year frequency, 6-figure month frequency. Now, just because you tune your belief into 6-figure months today doesn't mean tomorrow or this month you'll have a 6-figure month. But the consistency of remaining in that frequency makes it an inevitability of your reality that you desire coming to fruition, becoming truth. That's how we do it. That is how we do it. So for the last few years, I've been teaching people how to become the type of woman or man who creates 100K months, and the simple system that we use to create that, how to upgrade and tune into and calibrate into the frequency of more of 100K months, multiple 100K months, all kinds of things, like phenomenal things that we've been doing. And this is a strategy that I teach inside of all of my programs. One of them was mentioned right now. Mercy mentioned Play Big, which is actually like the super high caliber frequency acceleration program, and Supernova Sales School. It doesn't matter what stage of business that you're in. Sales School will help you tune into a community that's doing more, which will help you to increase your rates, increase your conversion rates, and your ability to get more clients fast. And so I just want to do a really quick thing and give you an opportunity to check Sales School out. If you are feeling drawn to my message, there's 2 ways that you can connect with me. So the first thing is, if you feel like, you know what, I want in, and Sales School is where I want to start, this is like the first level program that I have. It's an incredible community that creates incredible results. People are like, well, I want to get the program that's going to help me do 6-figure months. I've literally had people take Sales School and do 6 figures in a month, do 6 figures in 90 days. There's people on here right now who have done 6 figures faster than they ever dreamed possible inside of Sales School. Because I've been in this industry so long, I have set up all of my programs, especially this one, for you to win. It's not one of those things where it's like taste tester so I can upsell you to the next thing, You can come inside of Sales School and start creating results no matter what level you're on, especially if you want to learn how to increase your conversions. Now, for those of you guys who know you want high level mentorship and you're looking for somebody to guide you step by step along the way as you attune your frequency to higher levels, as you bump up against your old thought patterns, and you want somebody there to guide you in building the foundational structure of your business so that you can create 6-figure months, millions in your business with ease, what you want to do is go to commandmoresales.com. Actually, let's do this. If you type 100K month, I will reach out to you and we can have a conversation starting in Messenger instead of sending you that direction, because I want to see who's raising their hands and actually connect with you first before you go through that process. So type 100K months, plural. My overbite sometimes gets the best of me. 100K months, plural, in the chat and comments if you're looking for a longer term mentorship, 12 months, because it takes time to recalibrate. Results don't necessarily take time, they take courage. But the recalibration of who you are, at every new level, the same devil will show up. And what I do is mentor and hold my clients through that process so that they can get through it faster and faster each time. Faster and faster each time. I've had clients go from not doing 6 figures in a year to 6 figures in 9 months of working with me. Within 3 months of that, doing a 6-figure quarter. And within 6 months of that, now doing 6-figure months. Like, this is literally what we do, making each turnover time faster and faster. So if that's you and you are looking for mentorship, not just, the community to plug into and the strategies that we use to get there, but you want somebody to be able to hold you through this process, you want to type in 100K months. Other than that, check out Supernova Sales School. I hope this blessed you today. Seriously, I've been thinking, how can I support people more and more with the understanding of what it is that we do? Because I know a lot of you look at what I'm doing and you're like, but she doesn't have a big following like so-and-so. She doesn't have 1 million people clapping their hands. That's the beautiful thing about this thing. Right where you are, you have everything you need to make the kind of impact and income you desire to make. You're just looking in the wrong places and focusing on the wrong things. What you need to understand is that simple focus and this work on frequency that I'm talking about is a freaking game changer. It is a game changer. Get yourself into the right communities, connect with the right people, and start elevating and calibrating yourself to the level that you desire to work on. I remember getting to the point where $10,000 a month, I was like, okay, that's a no-brainer. I can do that. And I thought that was cool. Now I'm looking at my life and I'm like, this is insane. Like, we're literally at about $500,000 in revenue in the first quarter. I'm sorry, in cash in the first quarter of 2021. That's insane to me. You're talking to a girl who grew up in the projects, who literally built her business from nothing, is not just telling you that. Every dime I've made in my business and every dime I've invested in my business, I've had to make. So I'm telling you this from the side of someone who didn't have a leg up or someone else to lean on. Heck, I didn't even have good credit. This works. This works. And if your desire is to shift the wealth code in your family for generations to come, this is where you want to plug into so that you can calibrate to that. Okay. All right, guys, I will see you next time. Have an incredible week. Bye. Thank you so much for watching my show, my channel. Here's what I want you to do. If you really love what you've been listening to, I want you to subscribe to my channel and leave me a comment. No, really, leave a comment, like right now. I'm not gonna stop talking until you leave a comment. Seriously, leave a comment.